Hello, my friend. Welcome to the Money is Emotional podcast. I am your host, Christine Luken. We don't have a guest interview today, but what we do have are guest contributors who weighed in for this very important episode, Money Tips from Old Married Couples. That's right. I polled some of the OGs of money management in long-term relationships, people who have been married for decades. They weighed in on heavy-hitting questions like, what advice do you wish you had received about money before getting married? And what's something you do or don't do in your marriage that makes money management easier in your relationship? You'll also hear my personal stories and wisdom because Nick and I have been together as a couple for over a quarter century and married for 22 of those years. Let's dive into the wisdom from couples who have earned their financial dignity stripes. The first lesson that came out of these interviews is talk about money early and often. Silence doesn't create peace, at least not in the long term. What it does create is assumptions, and assumptions can create resentment. Money conversations aren't optional in marriage. They are foundational. You can't build a peaceful financial house on unspoken expectations. One of the people I interviewed, Dan, married 33 years, told me this: be open about money from the start. Talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. Be transparent and don't keep secrets. This ties directly into chapter 48 of my book, Money is Emotional, which is all about getting financially naked. It's important to do this before you tie the knot. Now, you're not going to do this on the first date or maybe even in the first 6 months. But once you are serious and engaged, especially, you both need to disclose all of your debt, your assets, your spending priorities, and your income streams. One woman who wishes to remain anonymous, married for 22 years, said, talk about money before marriage. If you don't, you might wake up and find out you're married to someone who is too frugal or not frugal enough. Transparency builds intimacy. Secrecy builds distance. Now, at first, it might bring up some issues that you need to hash out, and that is a good thing. It's best to talk about the differences rather than allowing them to stay hidden and fester and create distance between you. Regularly communicating about money helps you and your spouse to work out financial issues before they become full-blown fights. And take a lesson from one old married guy who advised, do not put down a deposit on a car without talking to your wife first. She was not happy when he came home and excitedly told her about it. He was back at the dealership the next day with his tail between his legs, getting his deposit back. So, what if you've been married for years, but you don't communicate very well about money? Well, I'm happy to inform you that it is never too late to create more transparency around money in your marriage. In fact, it is one of the big reasons that high-earning couples seek me out for financial coaching. Yes, of course, I help them get organized and create their prosperity plan, but more importantly, I show them in real time how to communicate about money and work through the differences. So here's the gold nugget here. Financial intimacy requires emotional vulnerability. If you can't talk openly about money, it is going to take a toll on your marriage. The second big lesson that came out of these interviews is to create financial systems that reduce the friction in your relationship. Long-term couples do not rely on willpower. They rely on systems and good habits. When savings, investing, and bill payments are automated, when expenses are discussed, and when money dates are regularly scheduled, your finances become less emotional because your money decisions have already been made in a calm manner. One of the men I interviewed said, be systematic with your savings. Put it on autopilot so you don't have a chance to spend it. Systems in your money reduce conflict, and they make sure that financial goals are achieved. Meg, who's been married for 33 years, told me, my husband does the books, and then we have bi-weekly money meetings. It is totally okay to have one person take the lead on the money management, as long as your spouse knows what's going on. Now, this is exactly what Nick and I do. As an accounting nerd, keeping up with our personal finance app is actually kind of fun for me. Now, this doesn't mean that Nick is clueless about our money, because we have regular money discussions, so we both know what is going on. The gold nugget here is that if you want less fighting over money, automate the routine financial decisions and make time to discuss the exceptions. There is no one right way to do money. You need to find the system that works for you as a couple. The third big lesson that came through loud and clear was separate your needs from your wants and learn patience. This is all about emotional maturity, and quite a few of the old married couples I spoke to specifically mentioned this. In my book, Provider Money, Pleasure Money, I talk about the balance between spending on your needs, which makes you feel safe and secure, and spending on your wants, which make you feel sexy and spicy. This dynamic of provider money and pleasure money, it's like the trapeze at the circus. So for the trapeze artist to perform at his or her peak, two things must be present: the safety net and the swing. If there is no safety net, or a badly damaged one, the trapeze artist is risking their life. It is no longer fun or thrilling. It is downright terrifying to take a ride on that swing. If there's a strong safety net, but no swing, then there's zero excitement, which is the whole point of the trapeze. So the swing and the safety net are of equal importance, and they balance each other out. Having both is the only way that a trapeze artist can have a truly enjoyable experience, feeling the thrill of swinging through the air and also knowing that he or she will be safe if a fall occurs. The same is true with your money. In order for money to truly support your happiness, you need both the provider money, the safety net, and the pleasure money, which is the swing. So to experience that full measure of happiness, it requires both security and excitement. So this is about taking care of both your needs and your wants. And here's the thing. When you need to save up for something that you want, I don't like calling it delayed gratification. Instead, I reframe this as prolonged pleasure purchases. And here's how it works. If you don't have the money to buy something yet, and you don't want to put it on credit, don't buy it. Don't buy it yet. Instead, flirt with the object of your desire. Look at it online. Visit it in person. Put a picture of it on your phone's lock screen. Daydream about the day that you finally make it yours. By the time you purchase the object of your desire, you've picked out the perfect place for it in your home or office, or maybe in your garage if we're talking about a car. You're so excited to bring it home. And here's the thing, once you bring it home, every time you see it, you appreciate it and you value it because it was a pleasure purchase that you greatly anticipated rather than an impulse buy. Old married couples understand something that younger couples often don't. Prolonged pleasure purchases are sweeter than impulse buys. They have learned how to delay without deprivation. And the gold nugget here is that impulsiveness creates chaos, but patience creates power.
Dare to enter the Wealthy Woman Book Club, where answers exist to forbidden questions, where women of all ages and income secretly gather, where knowledge is shared, where possibilities are explored, where women claim their power. Dare to stay a spell in the Wealthy Woman Book Club. In this place, we lift each other up. In this place, we start dreaming again. In this place, we see financial miracles. In this place, we grow through the glory and the failure. In this place, we step into a new identity. Dare to champion the Wealthy Woman Book Club. We're creating a future where women are financially empowered across the globe. We're creating a future where our daughters stand on equal financial footing with our sons. We're creating a future where we purchase with our principles rather than price tags. We're creating a future where we use the power of money for the benefit of people and the planet. Welcome to the Wealthy Woman Book Club. Dare to come in, woman. Come in. Join us at wealthywomanbookclub.com.
The fourth big lesson that came through is to align your spending with your values. Laura told me this about her marriage. We aligned on our money values, and it's taken the judgment out of big expenses. My husband, he values golf. I value personal care. But restaurants, they aren't a big priority for us. This is emotionally intelligent money management. It's not about who's right and who's wrong. It's about putting your resources behind what matters to you. Many people fall into the trap of keeping up with the Joneses. And when you do that and you just spend money on things that everybody else is spending money on, one day you're going to wake up and find out you don't have much money. And it's being spent on things that you don't even really care that much about. So when you review spending, especially with your spouse through a shared value lens, it stops being like, why are you spending so much? And it becomes, is this aligned with who we said we want to be? This eliminates shame. And this is also one of the reasons why I love for each person in the couple to have some of their own spending money. If you agree on the amount, who cares what each person is spending their splurge money on? So, for example, if I want to go get my nails done or get a facial, Nick's not saying like, oh my gosh, why'd you spend this much at the salon, right? If we each decide we get $500 a month to splurge on whatever we want to, I don't care what he spends that money on, as long as we are sticking to the dollar amount. And of course, when you're looking at joint expenses, we want to talk about what are the things that we value. Do we want to buy a bigger house because we want all of our kids and their friends to be hanging out there and we value family time and maybe we don't spend as much on vacations, right? Like these are the kinds of conversations that you need to be having. And here's the thing. As you and your spouse define your values, you might discover that as a family, you're spending money on things that don't really mean that much to you. When I am coaching couples and we're talking through all of their expenses, I frequently ask them, how important is this to you? And it's amazing how often we spend out of habit, on autopilot, or even out of guilt or people pleasing. But when our values are clear, arguments decrease and you squeeze more happiness out of every dollar. Now, the fifth and final lesson from my old married couples is that one size fits all for money and marriage does not exist. Here's some of the things that the people I interviewed said. We have both separate and joint accounts. That's it. That's my advice. We don't do joint accounts. Everything is separate. We have all of our money together in joint accounts. So as you can see, 3 different old married couples, 3 different answers. There is no one right system. Joint accounts, separate accounts, hybrid systems, the goal is peaceful communication and transparency, that both parties in the couple know what's going on. Some couples, they want to oversee everything together. Other couples want some sense of autonomy. Some couples need fewer discussions and some need more regular discussions, and that's okay. What really matters is, does your system create financial dignity or does it create friction? This is a big topic around how merged your money is in your marriage. In fact, I recorded an entire episode on this topic called My Money, Your Money, Our Money. If you want to dive deeper into this topic, the link to episode 76 is in the show notes. The right money system is the one that protects and nurtures both your marriage and your future. After a few decades of togetherness, here's what these old married couples know, and that includes me. Money management is less about the math, and it is more about maturity. It's about communication, transparency, the right systems, patience, aligning values, and designing a structure that fits your relationship. Long marriages aren't built on perfect spending. Now, Nick and I don't agree 100% on everything in our money. Good, strong marriages that are built to last are built on good communication and emotional safety around money. So, my friend, if you are a high-income, hot mess couple right now, take heart, because these couples didn't build financial peace overnight. They built it conversation by conversation, decision by decision. And money is emotional. But here's the thing. When you blend wise money management with emotional intelligence, you create financial dignity. And if that is something that you want my help with, let's set up a time to talk and see if we're a good fit to work together. The link to get on my calendar is in the show notes. Well, my friend, this is where I leave you for today. If you found wisdom in this episode, please forward it to a friend and then leave us a review. It helps other people find the Money is Emotional podcast. And if you're not a subscriber yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that button so you'll be the first to know when a new episode drops. Until next time, this is Christine Luken reminding you that you're good enough, you're smart enough, and gosh darn it, people love you, including me. Bye for now.